group of loyalists of the founder of the Afe Babalola University Ado-Ekiti, ABUAD, under the auspices of Justice for Afe Babalola Legacy, has debunked reports making the rounds that the human rights lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi is being persecuted by the elder statesman. The group said that the legal tussle against Farotimi was to protect the head and reputation and legacies of Chief Afe Babalola and his contributions to the development of the nation's judicial system in the last 60 years. Meanwhile, another group, the Open Society on Justice Reform, has expressed concerns over the criminal defamation charges instituted against Farotimi by Chief Babalola under the Cyber Crimes Act. The group, which urged the stakeholders to advance Nigeria's democratic ideals, called for Farotimi's release, noting that his continued prosecution undermines the spirit of free speech and justice and offends the provision of the Constitution. Joining us now on the show as we take another look at this subject is Chief Shola Ibisheni, Secretary General of the Yoruba Socio-Political Group, Afenifere, and one of the elder statesmen who was said to have joined Mr. Peter Obi in visiting Chief Afe Babalola SAN. Chief Shola Ibisheni, thank you very much for joining us on this show.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having me today. Good morning.
You were part of that team that visited Chief Afe Babalola SAN.
Yeah.
And as it was reported, the story was that you and Mr. Peter Obi and others pleaded with Chief Afe Babalola to forgive Dele Farotimi and withdraw the case in court. But, you know, after that, Dele Farotimi himself said he did not send anybody to go and beg for him and that he will not beg anybody. And now we hear this story about Afenifere Group and Afenifere Group saying, oh, they also have an obligation to protect the legacy of Chief Afe Babalola. What exactly, you know, is going on? What transpired at that meeting? You attended, they even say you facilitated it. And what is this story about Afenifere's involvement in the narrative?
Well, thank you very much. Let me make some fundamental statements about our going to Ado-Ekiti. Yes, I accompanied our leader, the presidential candidates of the Labour Party, and a statesman to Ado-Ekiti. Right? To me, Dele Farotimi wears three identities with me. First and foremost, we are both lawyers. Secondly, is a member of the National Caucus of the Afenifere. And thirdly, we're both on the Peter Obi presidential campaigns when I was the Southwest coordinator, as he was, and still one of the spokespersons for the organization. So secondly, our going to Ado-Ekiti was not on Dele Farotimi's prompting. He never knew about it. And it was not facilitated by me. It was an initiative of His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, and he called me. In fact, going back a little bit, he had wanted to go. You know, he issued a statement immediately after Farotimi's arrest, and he wanted to go. There are divergent views about whether he should be there or not, for whatever it is. But he had to make up his mind, and he called me and said I should accompany him to Ado-Ekiti. And I went. We met first with Chief Afe Babalola, whom I respect so much. And strategically, we decided to see, the leader decided that we should see Chief Afe Babalola first before we went to Dele Farotimi. Yes, our going had been interpreted severally by people. We went to beg, we went to plead, we went to seek understanding. Yes, I think I'll pick the last one, understanding, a friendly engagement with the iconic chief. And we spent quality time with him, after which we visited Dele Farutimi. We were not sent by Dele Farutimi. Ordinarily, because of the relationship between Peter Obi and Chief Afe Babalola, he would get to Ado-Ekiti and pay Kosi Paul on him. And when we were with Chief Afe Babalola, he mentioned some other prominent Nigerians, particularly Chief Olusegun Obasanjo and Bishop Martin Kuka, who had spoken to him on the matter. So we did not do anything unusual by going to see Chief Afe Babalola and send Dele Farutimi in the process.
All right.
I asked about Afenifere.
Yes.
Does Afenifere have a position?
Yes, the position of Afenifere is treading cautiously. First and foremost, Dele Farutimi is a member of the National Caucus of Afenifere, and we cannot remove that. Secondly, Afenifere and Chief Afe Babalola share some common views on the restructuring of the Nigerian Federation and enthronement of true federalism. So to that extent, nobody is talking now about who is guilty or who is right. What we are saying is that Dele Farutimi deserves to be released on bail. He deserves to be released on bail. Yes, the issue of whether he actually liable for the things he's been accused of is secondary. What is important is he entitled to bail? Should a magistrate have continued to detain him even when a federal high court has granted him bail? And when you look at all of this, unfortunately, the Dele Farutimi saga will soon, if it has not begin to be seen as a political trial, because why will he still be detained by a magistrate who ought to have given him bail as a matter of right?
All right.
Gbogbo àwa Africans, gbogbo àwa ọmọ Naija, wake up, Emma Sum. I'm excited. You can imagine me traveling and coming to spend time with family and don't have to worry about going to job as a registered nurse because I have.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I'm glad that you're one of the people who was actually there.
Yes, I was.
At that meeting with Chief Afe Babalola. We've heard many reports from that meeting.
Right.
It'd be great to hear your account from that meeting.
Yes.
Because I know that part of what you're going to do, you correct me if I'm wrong, is some form of mediation or at least appeal to the parties involved. What was the outcome? What was Chief Afe Babalola's position? Is there any hope of settling this out of court? Because a lot of people are saying this is now becoming, murky and dirty, and perhaps we should find a way to dialogue and mediate and take this off the streets of courts of public opinion and even the courts itself. What was that encounter like?
Yes, every conflict can be settled out of court, but first, that process cannot be embarked on in the absence of Dele Farutimi. Very importantly.
Okay.
So we did not have that locus as at that time to begin to discuss settlement. We cannot be doing that in that.
So what did you discuss at that meeting? What were the discussion points?
I have told you, I said it was a friendly engagement, seeking understanding of Chief Afe Babalola about the whole of this. Because if it is interpreted that we went there to appeal, we went there to plead, then both of them will be seen to have been guilty of one thing or the other.
Yeah.
To go to appeal is to say, we are sure that Dele Farutimi is liable for what or guilty of what he has been charged. Therefore, please forgive him.
Yes.
On the other hand, to appeal is to create impression in the public that Chief Afe Babalola is responsible for his detention. Therefore, we are appealing. So it is like I said, it's a very sensitive thing, so that we are not seen in the public as yes.
Okay. No. So I still want you to answer that, because so from your account,
yes,
we've heard a lot of stories,
right,
and I just want you to set the record straight in terms of what happened.
That's exactly what
happened. Yes. So Chief Afe Babalola's reception, what the outcome of that meeting was.
Thank you very much. And it's a pity this happened. Chief Afe Babalola on his own, without the intervention of some of our colleagues in the legal profession, may have a different approach, a different thinking. here on your channels and different channels, you have seen lawyers, respected senior legal practitioners come and do exactly what the court should do. All they found Dele Farotimi guilty, and they called him all sorts of names on television. They went into legal submissions, which ought to be made in court after his release. I think that is that's not acceptable. When we were with Baba, some of our colleagues too they were there popping arms. You know, he has defamed Baba. Of course, whatever it is, let him have his days in court. I was personally virtually attacked by one of our colleagues who said, "Oh yes, you were in court. You were the one giving Dele Farotimi solidarity." I said, "How? I did not even put on a suit. I was not even robed." But he said, "You granted an interview." Yes, I granted an interview. At the end of the first day, because it was expected that even on the first day, he would have been released on bail, because he's charged for an offense you can call a misdemeanor, because it is the severity of the punishment is less than 3 years.
So back to that meeting with
Yes.
Babalola,
So,
yes. And the outcome.
Yes, not much was achieved.
Okay.
In that meeting, I must confess. And I did say that much was not achieved because of the intervention of some of our colleagues.
Okay. That's why you saw my facial reaction. I quipped
Yes.
a bit when you said, so that they will not think it is Afe Babalola that is keeping him where he is.
Yes.
Whose petition led to Dele being arrested?
Very well. Afe Babalola's petition led to Dele being arrested.
So who is responsible for it?
I'm coming.
Who is responsible for it?
I mean, he is a complainant.
Who is responsible for it?
The keeping him in detention.
Who is responsible
The
for it?
police and the magistrate.
Who is responsible for what kept him in detention in the first place?
No, get it straight. The charge in the court is Dele Farotimi versus Commissioner of Police.
So whose complaint led to a COP?
Oh, COP, thank you.
Whose complaint led to Dele getting there in the first place?
It's Chief Afe Babalola, no doubt.
So who is responsible for all of this debacle to Dele Farotimi in the first place?
From the moment a complaint is submitted to the police,
Who generated the complaint?
of course,
Can the COP just go and arrest Dele Farotimi if nothing happens?
No, fine. No.
So who generated the complaint?
I'm coming.
Who is involved
I'm
here?
coming. You know the procedure. If anybody, if you could have complaint against anyone, your own is to report to the police. From that moment, the police takes charge. In fact, I'm coming. I'm sorry. Please
see,
allow me. Allow me a
Mr.
second.
Abisheni, with due respect, what you're trying to say is,
Did Harvard University just find a way to restore crystal clear 20/20 vision without glasses?
oh, let's leave him out of it. Let's extricate him out of it. It's now the police. No, somebody generated the complaint.
Yes.
It started from Chief Afe Babalola.
Yes.
The talk in town is not Dele Farotimi versus the police. It's
Yes.
Dele Farotimi versus Afe Babalola.
Exactly. That's what
So
I'm
let's
saying.
say the way
I
it is.
agree with you.
So Afe Babalola has a hand
I agree with
in all of this because he started the complaint.
In fact,
Secondly,
yes.
who are those people that bullied you there?
I'm coming.
Can you mention names?
Let me.
No, who are the people that were up in arms that even attacked you there when you went to meet Afe
I'm coming.
Babalola?
I'm coming.
I'll just like
no,
to-
let's put it like this. In fact, what you have just said is the real reason Chief Afe Babalola should have a rethink about this matter. Because, like you rightly put it, the general public is not aware or does not understand this fine distinction between the complainant and the prosecutor. The general public today believes,
I know in the interest of
I
peace,
agree,
you don't want to come out and say it's Chief Afe Babalola and Dele Farotimi.
No.
But you know you are the mediator. But who are those that threatened and harassed and said, even you granted an interview when you were there?
If you allow me,
because we have started seeing more legal cases.
if you allow me time.
Jolly well.
Yes. The first time we were in court,
Yes.
in fact, I went at the Secretary General of Afedifere for the purpose of saying, yes, Dele Farotimi deserves to be released on self-recognizance. He's a lawyer of 25 years. And the book he wrote, no matter how terrible the content is some kind of intellectual crime. So it's not rape, it's not murder, it's not. So he deserved from day one for an offense that is less than 3 years, he deserved from day one to have been released. So we were taken aback. And some of the things I saw in court, let me tell you, is that there is a complainant. The police, the case was being prosecuted by a police who is a legal practitioner, a policeman who is a legal practitioner. But you find a lot of our colleagues come there and say they are holding watching brief for the complainant.
You think that might influence their watching brief holding for the complainant?
They do not. I'm coming.
You think that might influence the case? Because a lot of them have been holding watching brief by filing cases.
No, let me go. Let me go on.
Yes.
When you hold a watching brief under our criminal law procedure, you are to be seen and not to be heard. But in this case, you find our colleagues, 1, 4, 5, 6, standing up in court and say they're holding watching brief for the complainant when a lawyer is prosecuting and wanting to make submissions in court.
Okay.
The law does not allow you. I'm coming. The law does not allow you. And it is the same of our colleagues that are found in Baba's place, who said, no, not harassment. Not harassment.
Yeah. But you don't want to mention that.
Said, look, I'm coming fine.
No, because this time, Dr. Bati needs to ask some more questions.
Yes.
So you want to mention one or two?
I don't have to.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Let's move on. You guys also saw Dele Farotimi in prison that day.
We did.
Can you tell me his state of mind? Is he in high spirits? What did he say? What did you guys discuss?
All right.
Because he also told you expressly that you're Shelo Baba.
Yeah, no. Let's put it this way. If you know Dele Farotimi very well, he's a guy that is unperturbed by circumstances. He was in very high spirits. He demonstrated that right from the court. Every offense put to him by the registrar of the court before the registrar finishes reading out, he will say, I am not guilty. I am not guilty. And you look at it, I am not guilty. It's ordinarily a standard plea in court because the burden of proof is on the prosecution. And you see, Dele Farotimi is not one of those Bob Danger that will go and say,
how was he generally in prison? What did you guys discuss? Did you tell him you are going to see Baba?
Yeah, we did.
What was his reaction?
We did, and you see,
was he happy about it?
A prison is not a good place for anybody to be. It's not even. Let me tell you, even the road leading to that prison, you will be sorry for the Nigerian system. It's not a good place for anybody to be. But I can see that looking at him, I don't see him being cowed. If that is what you want to hear from me.
Okay, Chief Ebishene.
Yeah.
I think we've more or less gone beyond Afe Babalola SAN.
Yeah.
There was a case, brought before the Oyo State High Court by Adebayo Adenekwekun,
Yes.
SAN, civil defamation.
Yeah.
There's another case taken to the Abuja Federal High Court by Kehinde Ogunwumiju, SAN, calling for, an ex parte motion, asking that the court should grant an interlocutory injunction to stop further sale and publication of the book. So there are other lawyers that I mean.
Yes.
It was in fact after Ogunwumiju and Adenipekun, both SANs, that Chief Afe Babalola Chambers now went to the legal practitioners disciplinary committee,
right,
the LPDC,
yes,
to say that
this one organ can make a woman's belly big and stick out. And no matter how many diets or how much exercise you do, it won't help. Which organ is the culprit? It's actually right here. It's the liver. Many scientists call the liver the ultimate metabolic organ. And the big problem is that there's a food we all actually have in our diet that causes the liver to become fatty. And as a result, more and
more name of Dele Farotimi should be taken off the register. Now, these are other dimensions to it, beyond going to visit.
All right.
Would you like to comment on these details? And what do you think of the other body that we quoted in the introduction, saying that what we're dealing with here is Section 39, freedom of speech, and that anybody has the right under the laws of Nigeria to say whatever he or she likes, and that defamation is not an offense.
Yes, let's start from your last statement. I do not subscribe to the idea that freedom of speech, freedom of expression is absolute and allows you to defame. Secondly, I subscribe to the fact that, and it has been decided even by the Supreme Court in the case of Avioma and the COP, that there are civil remedies for anyone who feels that his name has been defamed, and that it will be like some kind of double jeopardy for that person to be tried under our criminal justice system, while there are enough remedies in the civil court for the purpose of ventilating.
Isn't it a matter of choice on the part of the
yes
of the complaint?
I do not
Section 373
yes,
of the criminal code.
yes. You know, I'm reacting to the questions you asked on the various cases that have been filed in several courts. All of this, I maintain, are secondary to Dele Farotimi being released on bail. Once he's released on bail, he has the capacity to tackle all of this. You can't stop anybody from filing case. For instance, you file a case at the LPDC, asking LPDC to assume jurisdiction over a matter that itself has some criminal elements. Both cannot go on concurrently. The LPDC cannot be sitting on a matter.
No, the matter before the LPDC is about rules of conduct.
It's about rules of conduct.
What they can allege there will be misconduct.
No. Rules of conduct bordering on what? That's what Rufai was saying. Rules of conduct bordering on what? Bordering on criminal defamation. That is it. So while the issue is criminal defamation, you cannot simultaneously be asking the LPDC to assume jurisdiction over it. So and I stand to be corrected.
You say Chief Afe Babalola is wrong.
You said?
You say Chief Afe Babalola is wrong.
Wrong in what way?
In going to the LPDC.
I believe, and I say it with all conviction, that the LPDC trial is premature. If you charge him before a criminal court, when you find him guilty of that offense, and which offense itself has connotation of misconduct of a legal practitioner, the LPDC will call
Misconduct is that if a lawyer is convicted, his name is automatically an issue on the register.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know about that.
An officer in the law, in the court of justice, cannot be a convicted fellow.
Well, LPDC
That's the principle.
LPDC is just the beginning. It's not the apex.
All right.
Right.
I saw Afenifere, at least one faction has spoken. The justice for Afe Babalola.
I do not know of any faction.
Well, according to reports, there are
I do
factions.
not know of any faction.
If you don't know, there are people that are aware. Maybe you're not aware, but there are people that are aware. Your group or your leanings.
God bless you.
My leanings.
Yeah.
I am Secretary General of Afenifere. I do not know of any of that.
Yes, another one.
I do not know of any of that. But let's go.
Yeah, the main question is the justice for Afe Babalola legacy.
Yes.
Have said that you might be wading into an issue where you don't have the facts correctly, and that they are fighting without fervor to uphold the legacy that he has a monumental reputation to protect, and that's what they are fighting for, and that you should do your due diligence without taking sides. So what they're saying is that you're taking sides without actually having your facts right. What do you have to say about that?
No.
That you are putting or butting into something that you shouldn't.
No.
That it's already in the courts.
Thank you very much.
Back off.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Yes,
I'm coming. I made it clear to some of our colleagues when we were in Afe Babalola chamber. My own personal experience with Chief. For the first time, we had a chieftaincy matter in Ondo State, of which I am involved at the family level. And Chief filed some processes in court. I told Kabiyesi that this process, the court might decline jurisdiction. Unknown to me, Kabiyesi went to tell Chief Afe Babalola, and Chief Afe Babalola invited me to his chambers in Ibadan. Two arguments with him and some of our colleagues there, he was convinced of my position. You know what Chief did? He assigned those two cases in Ondo State. He assigned them to me and said, shall I go and take over these cases? And signed the processes in the name of Chief Afe Babalola SAN and Co. As if I'm a member of that chamber. That is much of the confidence you repose in me. The case was not pro bono, and I handled those cases till the end of it. I have personal relationship with him, and I made that clear to some of our guys who were trying to say that, oh, they own Afe Babalola more than any other one. Say, no, you do not. So our going there is not delving into the merit of the matter, but we are saying, Chief, for instance, our leader gave an example. Said, look at somebody like Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. There is nothing anyone will not have said about him in this country. At the end of the day, he ignores them. And when African states had issues, it is that same man they still run to. It does not diminish him in any way. So we have not delved into the merit of the case. First and foremost, let Dele Farotimi come out. For instance, I've listened to some of our colleagues who have convicted Dele Farotimi, even by their own statement. I listened to one who was calling Dele Farotimi that small boy repeatedly. I was forced to go and Google his profile. I just discovered that he's just about 3 or 4 years older than Dele Farotimi. And in order to denigrate him, he continued to refer to him as that boy. And it's just about, Dele Farotimi is 25 years at the bar. So our concern is that he be released on bail. Once he's out of where he is, some other things will follow in Nigeria.
Okay. So you said when you were there.
Yes. You and this, when I was there.
You said when you were there. It's you. I didn't say that.
Yes, I was there.
That some of these your colleagues, they came.
Hey, God. And
they started saying all sorts. That Dele had done this, Dele had done that, Dele had done this, Dele had done that. When they were saying it, what did Mr. Peter Obi say? Yeah, in defense. I would like to. I would just like to know how he
in my own defense.
No. When these words were going on, because you see, the scenario. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
The scenario looked as though that you people were browbeaten while you were there.
No.
And you just said, okay, we've heard.
No.
Because I would have expected, and that's why some people are probably saying maybe Sowore was right. I'm not saying it was right too.
Yes.
Maybe Sowore was right when you went to go and do beggy because you went there. You saw all the people in support of Chief Afe Babalola saying, Dele, I'll pan you, I'll shiloshen you, we'll do everything to him. And you people are just there and you are being on the receiving end. Okay. Is that what played out?
But will you allow me to
go
ahead,
sir. Go ahead.
The truth is that those of us who went there were no small boys. And this is how it happened. At first, Peter Obi had one-on-one audience with Baba. And later, some of our colleagues went in. And so he now called myself and 1 or 2 other people to witness what was happening. All true. There was no comment, in fact, from Chief Afe Babalola that suggests that what we have come to do was wrong. But I was just mentioning some of these our colleagues who, many of them have been on air talking. We cannot be browbeaten. Who can browbeat me?
But you said they were very vicious.
No. What I'm saying is that remove all of these extra Babalola's agitation, particularly from legal practitioner. This issue might not be seen as this difficult. I told you, I said, I have listened to lawyers here who have said everything in the service contemptuous. So that the matter is before a judge. And all of us since have you heard me talk about the merit of the matter?
You know what I'm saying about these particular people that they said no, we are going to take action. It's because they didn't just say with word of mouth. They started to take action. Dr. Abati, you know about the case?
Yes.
That was filed?
Yes.
In Oyo?
Yes.
Abuja?
Yes.
And more myself.
Those who filed those cases were not in Abuja.
Yeah, but they were not in Abuja.
I know
but they were in support. But probably they were in support of that. And you don't know maybe those.
No.
I said probably.
No. Their position is different.
Okay, what's their position?
Their position, if you read, their position is that we were part of Afe Babalola's chambers, and that in that book did not stop at Afe Babalola, but also mentioned the activities of Afe Babalola's chambers, lawyers in Afe Babalola's chambers.
So they feel you betrayed Afe Babalola chambers.
Me, I'm not a member of Afe Babalola's
No,
chambers.
because you said you collected a brief for Baba just now. He gave you work
As
that
a-
was
yes,
handsome.
as a-
And he said sign as Afe Babalola and co. So you signed paper and you went to do work for him. So they feel that if you have been eating with Baba and you are not here to come and talk in favor
they
of
did not.
him,
They did not even know. Baba himself has even forgotten. How
Okay.
it was when they were acting as if they own Baba that I've chipped that in.
okay,
to
so
say,
people feel like they own Baba.
oh, of course, there's no doubt about it. Some people feel that, oh, Chief Afe Babalola is there. Yes, I just chip that in to let them know that you don't own Baba more than anyone. But let this issue of bail first be resolved. Dele Faro to me has the capacity to defend himself.
Bail is at the discretion of the court.
Yes, it is. It is.
Now, that's the principle. Now, beyond all these cases and all of that, the book is titled Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System.
Right.
There are lawyers who have been saying that beyond the individuals involved, there's something called content, espace curia.
Yeah.
That, in fact, forget about the individuals, that is the entire judiciary that is being targeted. Now, do you think that those people have a point? And for you to say yes or no, one way or the other, have you read the book yourself?
I have.
Have you familiarized yourself with the content of the book? Do you think that on the surface of it, Dele Fari to me may be guilty of contempt away from the face of the court?
You see, I have read the book. And
Or you think it's a fair comment?
And I do not have the capacity here to begin to describe the content one way or the other. I will be guilty of the same thing that I've accused some of our colleagues. What I'm saying is that, yes, I have read the book. You have had Supreme Court justices on retirement make very strong opinions, express very strong opinions about the judicial system. Yeah. Yesterday in Ibadan, I mean, I saw it on your news. Very senior personalities in the legal profession spoke about the Nigerian justice system. So it may not be peculiar to Dele what he saw. You see, Dele did not just write an article. He wrote a book, which is not something that happens 1 or 2 days. He wrote a book out of conviction. Let him come out. Let him come out. Justification is a defense in the law of defamation. Let him come out. What did you see? What is it that you saw? And like I said, he pleaded not guilty in court. A lawyer of 25 years, he must have his onions before he begins to make this. So I will not describe. I've read the book inside out. But the question is Dele entitled to bail? Should a magistrate continue to hold him on the flimsy excuse of, oh, I have adjourned to consider application? Let me tell you, the law, the severity of the punishment under the law which Dele Fari is charged. So many people charged with misdemeanor in court who do not have lawyers, they are granted bail. Who do not have lawyers, they are granted bail. So the fact that a lawyer is before you, an application is made on his behalf, the first day you said because application was made, you were going to consider the application.
Okay.
We waited. At another time, they came.
Wait, Mr. Babison,
Yes.
What was the worst case scenario? Now, they've been at the discretion of the court,
Yes.
of the judge. Now, if, I think, December 20th is
right.
the next day of appearance.
Yes.
If we were suddenly told that, the judge has gone on a Christmas vacation because Christmas will just be a few days away, and that, the matter has now been adjourned till January 15th.
Yes.
What is the worst that can happen?
Yes.
Because you are saying, Grambe. The court can say, well, we are now on Christmas recess.
You are a lawyer. We do not thrive on speculations. Yes, we do not.
It's possible.
I said we do not.
Is it not possible?
Also,
We do not
make the point that
Yes.
prior to this adjournment to the 20th, there was a speculation that they were going to keep him. They were not going to grant him bail. They were going to keep him till the 20th.
Even Afenifere themselves made that speculation.
Because the judges also want to do Christmas.
No, Afenifere in your state, the faction, the group that said that there were suspicions and they adjourned that they wanted to keep him for about 30 days. So there were speculations and suspicions.
Suspicion, of
Yes.
course.
All right.
Suspicion.
In fact, who were this day? Dele himself had already said what was going to play out even before this case.
Yes.
He had even said what was going to play out in court. How were they going to keep him there
Yes.
even before this case? So
Yes.
that's the day you are looking for. Really,
Yes.
the day. The day is one Dele and many other people based on the video Dele himself reported.
I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree.
Right, let me ask you.
Yeah.
So you said something that let them bring him out, defense or justification
Yes.
is defense in a defamation case, or a law of defamation.
Yes.
Is this not dangerous waters? Because some people are saying, let him not talk. Let us not scatter what is already being scattered. Because if we begin to ask people to talk and expose the failings or the corruptions, as it were, of the judiciary, it might cause more harm than good. Recall that this is now beyond just the actors, the principal actors. It's also perception for Nigeria, impact on investment, impact on businesses. And that's why there's a push for, rather than calling, okay, let's just scatter everything, come out and talk, let's handle this a bit more circumspectly.
Yes. I was watching you yesterday when you were talking about Kemi Badmo, the ladies.
Yeah.
I saw Rufai came up heavily on the father. Oh, she's playing games, she's playing politics and all of that. That is what, to agree with you, that is what plays out if we are not careful about the way we handle this matter. And you seem to be probing more into my mind about what happened at our meeting in Ado Ekiti.
Yeah.
And that is to say that is it possible to let the sleeping dog lie? Is it possible for us to be like Jesus and say, Father, forgive him, for he knows not what he's doing? Is it possible that you bring him out now? And because one of the reasons why people are looking at this issue is that, it's in Yoruba parlance, they said, Ebu alo ni taun tabo tanoi. Meaning that if you overflog an issue, the proverbial tortoise, he stole money from his in-law, and the in-law tied him to the stake on the way to the market. And everybody said, this tortoise, you are guilty, you are shameless. But they wait till in the evening when they were coming back from the market, 6 o'clock he's still tied to us. Mr. In-law, I think it's not fair. That all of this issue may snowball into it if it is not well handled.
Okay, so in your parlance now, Ashejiti war. With all of this that they doing to Dele now, Ashejiti war. That's what you just said in Yoruba part. Because I'm a Yoruba person.
Yes, you are.
So Ashejiti war here. You've said it.
Yeah, from the magistrate, Ashejiti war. Oh yes, Ashejiti war. Federal High Court granted bail from the magistrate.
What about from the complainer?
The complainer, I've told you.
When did you go to see the magistrate?
No.
When did you go see the complainer?
No. I shouldn't have seen the magistrate. No, I shouldn't have seen the magistrate. I shouldn't have compromised the magistrate.
Okay.
For the complainant, from the moment his complaint is submitted to the police, and the police file charges against the defendant, they should be in charge from there on. That is what the law says.
Let me make it brief.
I know.
From the ecosystem, Ashejiti war. That's what it means in very brief. So the ecosystem can cover everything.
From the level of the magistrate, Ashejiti war.
Okay. Moving on. We've been able to look at it in many dimensions. Please, can you also, there's a word being thrown around, and I didn't get the quote for this, the source for this quote.
Right.
So maybe you can discountenance it, that it was said that Dele also said that there is no deal except he gets out of here, that a man cannot negotiate behind bars. And part of the words you got from Chief Afe Babalola was, in fact, I have a source for it. A source for it was one of our rundowns that we read on this issue about a week ago or thereabout, that Chief Afe Babalola said that his not guilty plea should be retracted or something. I mean, that's why I said it was written out there as one of the rundown write-off. I don't know if it's true. That you were present in the meeting.
Yes, I was there from the beginning to the end.
And what were possible agreement terms in that meeting?
There was no agreement. So don't talk about terms.
Okay. So there were no terms.
But to start with, Chief Afe Babalola would not have told us as lawyers that let him go and plead guilty. The last time I had that was Bobrisky, who did that. Plead guilty. I told you earlier, I said, plead not guilty is the standard, because in criminal prosecution, the onus of proof and beyond reasonable doubt is on the prosecution. And let me tell you, the complainant may or may not be a witness in that case. That is why when some people say they are holding watching brief, we say you are going beyond your bounds to stand up in court and begin to make appearance and begin to seek to make submission. With respect to Dele Farutimi, it goes without saying. You don't even need to, if you know Dele Farutimi, you don't need to tell Dele Farutimi before you will know that he will not talk to anyone in detention.
Okay.
He will not talk to anyone.
That never happened.
Yes, it never happened.
You have repeatedly talked about justification.
Yes.
As a defense.
Yes.
Justification is the defense of truth.
Yes.
Yeah. There are other levels of defense.
Yes, defense of truth.
Yeah. Do you think that from what you read in that book, that Dele Farutimi has concrete evidence to say this judge collected this money from Chief Afe Babalola, this lawyer was also part of it, because the evidence has to be concrete.
Yes.
That's what truth is all about.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You think you'll be able to provide that evidence. You see evidence of, concrete justification in the portions of the book or the whole book that you read. Will you say so?
I did say, Doctor, that Dele Farutimi did not write an article. I'm a columnist in one of the newspapers. I can begin to write my column hurriedly in order to meet tomorrow.
The book is more permanent.
Yes, the man wrote a book.
But from what you read, did you see concrete admissible evidence?
I won't make any judgmental comment on it. He wrote.
Okay.
He's a lawyer.
Will you say it's fair comment from what you read?
I still will not make such comment. Let Dele come out. He wrote his book out of conviction. Yeah, for instance, he's been sued in Lagos. He's been sued in Oyo. He's been sued in Ibadan. He's been sued in... Yes. Let him come out. Let's see how all of this will coalesce. Maybe at the end of the day, you need to do a consolidation of all the cases for him to answer them all through. And he has so many lawyers. It's a civil matter. He doesn't have to be present there. So he can call some of his colleagues in and come and see the number of lawyers that came to Adekiti. At least there are not less than 4 senior advocates there. And I know that they are volunteers. And that is why, I think it was you, Doctor, that was saying that if this matter is not handled well, police snowball into so many people are waiting in the wings to see, let this matter now go into trial. Let's see what and blessed are the peacemakers. Yeah. That's what Peter Obi went to do.
About defamation is you don't know what to
that's what Peter Obi went to do.
Crawl out of the woods.
Yes, that's what Peter Obi went to do in Ado-Ekiti. Blessed are the peacemakers. I hope we're
ready for the truth, or whatever it is that will be unveiled if it goes to trial. I said I hope we're ready for whatever would be unveiled if this goes to trial.
Yeah, that's what media thrives on. Yeah. Yes. People will be in business.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Chief Olushola Ibishen. It's been quite a good conversation with you this morning. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Greetings and happy, what day is today? Happy Monday. I've been a happy Tuesday. I don't even know which one to talk. How's everybody doing though? I hope you guys are Good. I hope everything is good with you. I don't know what to make of this interview, to be honest. There's some parts of it. Yes, he explained what happened. Oh, welcome, Osila. Osila, baby. Welcome. Greetings to you. So I mean, there was a part where he was talking when they were asking him, pressing him about Afe Babalola. I don't know. I kind of feel like, I don't know, this respect for elder thing, whatever, right? It's a problem, as Nigerians. I think we need to find a way to do this better, because when they were pressing him and asking him, who do you think filed the case, right? He kept evading the question, which I thought was kind of weird. Why are you evading the question? You know, they're asking you, right? It's simple, straightforward question, and there you are. I mean, I don't know. To me, I don't know. This elder thing in Nigeria is a problem. To be honest, there has to be a way around respecting your elders and being able to speak truth to power. You know, how can everybody be? And they're asking him, okay, who's filed the case against Dele Farotimi? He kept saying he didn't want to say straight away that it was Afe Babalola. What's wrong with saying that? I mean, is he fear? Are they afraid of him? I mean, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. I think that's one of the problems why we're where we are in Nigeria, because everybody's avoiding. Everybody, you know, people out of respect, out of it don't make sense to me. That's why it's a long way for Nigeria. It's going to be a very, very hard and long way. On one hand, you're trying to speak truth to power and let people know, you know, what they, but on the other hand, you have people that are pushing back on it and saying, hey, you know, there's uh, there are ways around this, and people not being able to speak really freely and speak the truth as it should be. It's problematic. I find it problematic, to be honest. I really do. Eh? I don't get it. I don't. It's uncomfortable for me sometimes listening to these interviews where people are not answering the questions directly. You always want to beat about, or you know, find what. I mean, it's a direct question. He's the one who filed the complaint, so he's the one who is holding. He's the reason why Dele Farotimi is in prison. Simple. Nobody's going to come and flog you about that. It's an elder that did it. Yes, he's the one. He's responsible for it. All this dancing around. This is why the fight is a long fight. Long fight. It's crazy to me. Just say yes. Baba filed it. If you don't want to call his name, yes, he filed it. So yes, he's the reason why Dele Farotimi is behind bars. How hard can it be? We have a problem in Nigeria. I'm sorry. We really have a problem in Nigeria. That's why this fight is it's a bit cumbersome. You know, you say one thing, people come down on you. Oh, elders. Elders put you in the position you're in right now. Do you understand that? Hey, Mr. Pansad, welcome. OVA, welcome. I see you guys. Thanks for coming by. You know, elders are the reason why we're where we are. Not all of them, obviously, right? We have the likes of Bade Banjo, right? Those who fought till the end. That man never gave in. As old as he was, 90-something, never gave in, never backed down. I mean, how do we fix the country if you can't even speak truth to power? Come on, from the person drive for me and reach here is a problem. You're considering, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Is it about feelings? I don't know if you guys heard about the young man who I read a story about a young man who was, hey, not be country we dey live. I'm serious. Nigeria not be country, not jungle. They sentenced this young man to death by hanging for stealing a chicken. I'm sure you guys have read that story. It blew my mind. This guy has been behind bars for 14 good years. In some other blogs, I read that the guy was a medical student since 2010. It took the mother coming to give an interview and crying and saying that's her only son, she doesn't want it, for the governor to. I'm glad that the governor stepped into it right away. Adeleke, I think it's Davido's uncle, right, as they say, and did something about it. That is crazy. Say person thief chicken. Meanwhile, we have the real thieves in front of you. When I said earlier, I said, you know what, Nigerians, you people be going to church, spending time, valuable time that you'll be using to build yourself in church, saying die by fire, die by fire, die by fire. All the ancestors of your father's house, all the enemy of your mother's house, all the enemy of whatever. Your ancestors are right in front of you. Your enemies are right in front of you. Deal with them now. Cat's got your tongue. You can't talk. Oh, he's an elder. Elder to what? What impact has he made on your life? Has he made your life easier? As an elder, Shebi, they say the father leaves inheritance for their children and their children's children. What did they leave for you? What did they leave behind for you? You are a great grandchild. What do you have to show for it? Your enemies are right in front of you. You're afraid to speak. You're afraid to talk because you have to respect your elder. Elder that is digging the grave for you to go every day. Elder does not care. They will eat the seed. They won't even let it, even when before it gets to harvest, they don't chop them. Those are the type of elders that you people are respecting. And that is why Nigeria is where it is, exactly where. So why are we complaining now? Everybody should go and sit at home. Since you people love your elders so much, go and sit at home. Because I tell you for free, in my home, when my parents did something, I called them to order. In my home, that's how we were. We say, no, nah, mommy, how you do that kind of thing now? You're not good now. Even my dad, we used to talk to my dad. Now, daddy, it's not fair now. It's not fair. Even though the man go say, what do you mean it's not fair? Daddy, it's not fair because so happened. Same thing with my mom. So I don't understand this whole, did we have respect for my parents? Hell yeah. My dad was a typical traditional Asa man. No, they take rubbish. I don't understand though. This is now make our problem big. It big, let's say big past the whole world. Because with the fight, some people culture go come involve in the whole thing. You'll clash with the fight. You'll say, oh no, we can't. But they are the ones they are the ones putting you in handcuffs. That's the reason why you're not progressing in your life. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Pansa, Governor Ademola Adeleke. Yes. Thank God for him. He came to the rescue of that young man. Otherwise, the man would have been toast by now. So do you know how many? It got me thinking, do we even realize how many people are behind bars today? Behind bars for nothing. For nothing, just wasting away. Do you know what 10 years of somebody's life is? 10 years of somebody's life. And not be saying a better jail. In Nigeria, there's no skill acquisition. There's nothing like, okay, while you're in jail, you read books. There's nothing like that too. They will turn you into something else. I'm sure that guy coming out will need a lot of rehabilitation. Hey, victory all the way. Welcome. Oh, Nigeria is not a normal place. It's not. It's a jungle. I'm serious. Hey, Chima, thank you very much. Greetings. Welcome. Oh. Well, you could. That's a point of view. You make some sense there. The man is not there to speak for Dele. It was clear. It was very clear. He showed. The man no contact, because I was confused by that interview for a minute. I was like, wait a minute, I don't understand. Is this man talking for, yeah, I get it that they're trying to find out from him what actually happened, if they actually went to beg, right? In a way, it seemed like that somehow. I mean, because it didn't sound too convincing. Eh? You can't even ask the man, even they answer questions straight. They dilly dally. They are not. They are careful not to. Who is this? Is the man God? I don't understand. Yafe Babalola. How many years he get left for this earth? I don't understand. At least the oldest person. Don't be the same now. The oldest person as of today. And no, 150. They talk say be. You understand what I'm saying? I don't understand. Nigeria, we get, honestly, the problem is huge. The problem is big. Oh, more not just lie to ourselves, more just tell each other the truth. The problem is humongous. Because you're fighting on the one hand, other people are fighting you. I mean, look at, for instance, what Kemi said. Even though, yes, I don't really fully support the way she has been giving her interviews and putting Nigeria down. I come to find out it was even Nigerians that helped her get to the point where she was. There was an old, people have been pulling up information about her when she was coming up, how she relied solely on a lot of Nigerian votes to get to the position she is in today. And she, in that post, she was saying she was thanking Nigerians, only for her to get to that top and throw Nigerians under the bus. I don't get it. There's a way you can say things, right, without making, as much as as much as I call out the bullshit that goes on in Nigeria, if I have the opportunity to represent at that level, there's a way I will not speak like that. I will not throw my people under the bus like that. Never. I won't. Even though some of what she said recently is true. It's very true. You can't take that away from her. And I have to be honest. I kind of was gloating over the fact that she responded to Shetma, Una Shete for Nigeria. I was kind of happy with her response from her. I was hoping that they would go on. You understand that there'll be more responses between between both of them. I was really looking forward to it because I enjoyed it. I really did. But outside of that, she said some really demeaning things about Nigeria. Feels to me like she wants to be white, and I don't know if anybody's telling her. I don't know if she looks in the mirror as often, or maybe nobody has told her. She can never be. Fact that she married a white person was not going to make her white. And guess what? They're just using her. Once they are done, they will dump her. I don't know. I wish her well, regardless. I really do. And for those of you having children overseas, I hope that you are telling your children that your country is the state of the country, and be honest with them, but as much as possible, let them know they cannot go out there and be throwing it under the bus. I hope you're using this as you're seeing what's going on and you're able to, explain to your children, because it doesn't look good at all. It actually looks bad on her parents as well, because it looks like maybe she had some things growing up and she never unlearned that. Because even if sometimes you hear some things that don't make sense in your household, you should be able to educate yourself even more, grow out of it, learn more, and be better for it. You understand? So I don't know. But yeah, the situation remains the same in Nigeria. Where do we go from here? I heard that I missed the interview with that Showre and the likes held on Zoom. I missed that interview. It's a pretty long one, so I don't think I have the patience to play it. So maybe I'll play for you guys. But they were talking about, I think they had a few discussions. I didn't listen to it, but just looking at it, right? It says Legal Defense Fund for Dele Farutimi, coordination of global support, whistleblowers initiative. I don't know if I should bring it here and for us to listen to. I don't know if we should do that, But I mean, I don't know. Nigeria problem, I don't know. Right now is overwhelming. It looks and it feels overwhelming to me, because the corruption is deep. So I'm thinking of the young people that have been locked up in jail with nobody to cry to, that their lives have been taken for no reason. Right? And you think about them and they imagine, how can a country like that move forward? How can a country like that move forward where young person become a thief chicken? They sentence her. So that means that what they are trying to say is that the life of the chicken is more important than the life of that young man. That's what they're indirectly saying. That's what that means. How can you place the life of a chicken over the life of a human being? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I couldn't help but think the number of young people that are languishing in jails in Nigeria, across Nigeria, for doing nothing. For, maybe stealing bread. We've seen it. Whether you put tire for the person neck, only bread do. Or you go out of hunger. But you politicians, when they keep una down, una no dey fit attack them like that. That alone is problematic. That one a problem. So tell me, country like that, when we say they take lives of the young people on a daily basis, if you go prisons for Nigeria, it too sure me say there's so many young people in that prison, their life just a waste away. They just they waste away, nothing. They happen because they don't know anybody, they not get voice, they could just remain there. Meanwhile, the politicians, when they reap your life, they steal from you, steal from your children, your great-grandchildren, they are thriving. They are thriving. If you talk, they will say, come on, shut up. Why they talk? You know, say now your senior, you know what this man don't do. You know the life when he don't impact with money when he thief. With the lives when he obtain that money. As somebody's on somebody's live show, whether it was, I don't know where, I think I saw a video, an armed robber came on that live show. This is where Nigeria has gotten to. This is where Nigeria has gotten to. And everybody is just quiet. Wetin dey pay me pass, we say, for this daily faro me matter, everybody just quiet. Everybody just quiet. If to say na normal country, everybody is supposed to flood the streets. Therefore, make it for the impossible for them to arrest Dele Farotimi. If Afebalola no fit dey inside prison, then they don't have any right to hold that man. They don't have any right to hold him. But here we are, everybody just quiet, do as if, okay, nothing. You know, kuku consign me. And then when people go abuse the country, some people go, they say, oh, I beg, why they talk to the country? Why not go talk to the country? Why not go talk about the country like that? Is the country not a jungle to you? Is the country not a jungle? See, as they resist the tax bill, when they talk about the senators, northern senators, they resist them. They are doing everything possible to resist it. Because they don't want to pay taxes, but you want the system to work, even though in a way, I'm not going to lie, I really don't want the tax to pass under this government, because we know it's going to go to one person's pocket. Let's just say it as it is. In a way, yeah, it's a good idea, but who's the one that's going to be in charge? It will be, they will not create an SPV. All those taxes, all your hard-earned money will come into one person. And then, by the way, if you're sending money from here or wherever you are to Nigeria, you have to pay 10% to the government. So if you're sending $1,000 to your people, you have to pay $100. Abi, 10% na $100 now. Make it make sense. So now that means say they're going to eat into the money of the people when they send. And guess what? When that money hits their account, they're also going to bill them. The banks in Nigeria, I'm sorry, suspects. I've heard so many stories about what's going on with the banks in Nigeria. It's not even funny. So I begin to wonder, who are the people that will rise up and fight the banks? Because the problem we have is multidimensional. Who are the people rising up to fight the banks on the one hand, to resist all these their predatory interest rates, and somebody dies, when the person die, no get access to him money, they won't even release it to the family. Who is fighting that battle? Now Nigerians have turned very dark man and Deji and who else into their savior, their Superman, in a system that has a police force, military, navy, two individuals. They carry the problem of the entire country. Anybody when you get problem now, he go run, go meet very dark man. And then the other lady, is it Madam Laurie, that they are taking her house. So Wike go to collect that woman house, nothing go happen. Oh, Nigeria. You know what? Let's listen to this Zoom meeting by. I just got a message now. Let's play this video. I think it's important for us to listen. If there's any way we can help and tap in, I think it's very important.
And good morning to those that are on the West Coast. We want to welcome you to today's event. We are really encouraged by the incredible show of support that has come. This came very quickly. This meeting was called yesterday, and it's just incredible how many people have registered. There's still additional people that are going to be trickling in. So please bear with us. But we're here for a very important reason. And I think one of the things that we have taken for granted for too long in Nigeria is the fact that we have lived in a nation for a very long time where injustice just appears to be the norm, where corruption is rife, and where abuse of power appears to go unchecked. But I think the time has come when those of us, we have to begin to speak up. A time has come when we need to begin to fight back. A time has come when we cannot sit by and allow truth and those who are bold enough to stand up and speak truth to power to be trampled upon by the injustice and the corruption in the land. So I'm encouraged by the numbers that have turned up today. I'm grateful and glad for those who are participating. My name is Malcolm Fabi, and today we're going to be hearing from a number of people. We'll be hearing from Moyele Shore later on. We'll be hearing from Tokwe Temokun, who is one of the lawyers for Dele Farotimi. He's on the Farotimi legal team. And we would also be hearing from Dr. Chidi Nwayawu, who is the convener, one of the members of TIB, the TIB movement that has been significantly involved in this effort. So there will be a number of voices, and we'll be discussing with you some of the plans that are on the way in order to ensure that this particular effort, this cause that we're all focused on, that it's a cause that we'll be able to support and drive for as long as it's going to take. So let me just take a step back and situate us.
I went to Dubai and found out that the rich people in Dubai never go to nail salons, but the secret of their neat and clean nails.
Regarding the present situation. A man wrote a book, Dele Farotimi wrote a book. And that book was not a fictional book. The book was not about a fictional place called Nigeria. The book was not about a fictional judicial process. The book was not about fictional corruption in a fictional land. The book was about the reality of a country called Nigeria. The book was about the reality of the judicial system in Nigeria. The book was the reality of the judicial process in Nigeria. And there's nobody who lives in that country that is not aware of the fact that there is corruption and there's injustice in the judicial system. The politicians know that there's judicial corruption. They talk about it all the time. The judges themselves, just earlier today, there was a WhatsApp on some of the WhatsApp groups that I belong to. There was a video of Justice Ogie, a lady justice of the Supreme Court, where she was describing the corruption in the Supreme Court. This is a justice of the Supreme Court. It's not a surprise that there is injustice in the police system, in the law enforcement system. It's not a surprise that there's corruption in the law enforcement system. It's not a surprise that the Nigerian police is corrupt. What Dele Farotimi did, his offense, it appears, was having the audacity, the temerity, and the effrontery for having the guts to actually begin to give names to that corruption. His offense was daring to not speak about corruption in generic terms as most people do, but to actually begin to name what that corruption is. He named people, he named situations, he named a particular case, and he wrote a book. And from the time he wrote that book, in fact, quite frankly, I am grateful for one thing. I'm grateful for the fact that this happened, because the truth is there were many people who did not even know that Dele had written a book. But what they've done is to take a book that maybe a few people that were aware that the book existed had read, and they've made it very clear. They've made it available. They've talked about it. They've raised issues about it. And now we all know that, yes, Dele indeed went beyond just speaking about corruption. Dele indeed went beyond just hypothesizing about corruption, that Dele went ahead and took a particular case study that he was intimately familiar with. And where is Dele now? Dele is in jail. Dele has been held in captivity. He's been locked up in a prison with hardened criminals. He was taken to court in handcuffs. And the supreme irony of it was that that same week, the former governor of Kogi State was waltzing into court with a battalion of supporters behind him, while a man, this was somebody who stole billions and penalized the state. And while a man whose only offense was speaking truth to power was being brought to court in handcuffs. And what the system has always relied on is the fact that we complain, but we do nothing. They know that we get angry and we vituperate on Twitter. They know we're going to send ourselves messages on WhatsApp groups. They know, they've always assumed that when we get angry about issues, that, just allow them a little time and everything will dissipate and fade away. Well, I think it's time for us to begin to let the system understand that that's not going to happen anymore, that we are going to begin to find ways to corral our anger, that we're going to begin to find ways to channel our energies. The system has always benefited from the fact that we've had very disparate voices, that even though we all feel the same thing and we feel the same pain, that we speak about that pain in very different ways, and we're almost always never able to coordinate and bring ourselves together and get organized. But we're starting to do that. We're starting to get organized, and this particular effort is just one that is intended to bring together a lot of the work that is being done across very many different groups in order to shine some light on what is happening with regards to Dele Farotimi. So here's what this group is about. This is not any single person's organization. This is a true coalition of efforts. So every single person on this call, and hopefully every single person that goes on this call will help us engage with, and every single person that is pained, annoyed, quite frankly, at the injustice that is being meted out to Dele Farotimi. This is supposed to be a platform that will allow us to channel those energies together. And there are three things that we're trying to achieve with this platform. The first one is we need to raise the legal defense fund for Dele Farotimi. One of the ways that the system operates in Nigeria, and certainly Chief Afe Babalola is very much aware of that approach, is to stretch someone so thin financially.
You're not a child, you're a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go outside and get the bearskin tack
that they give up. And so as we speak right now, Dele has cases in probably about 5 different courts. There's a case in Ado-Ekiti, 2 cases in Ado-Ekiti. There's a case in Lagos State. They've just opened another case in Rivers State. My understanding is there's another case in Abuja. And it would not surprise me if before the week runs out, there are cases in every single state where there's a court present, which is all the states of the Federation. They have the capacity to do so. If they do that, how is Dele going to defend himself? How are we going to raise lawyers that will be present in all those courtrooms? Because if lawyers are not present in those courtrooms, as frivolous as those cases might be, then obviously the case has been lost if you don't have representation. And so that's one of the tactics that's currently being utilized. But one of the messages we're going to send out, and that message is going to be loud and clear, is that they're not dealing with just Dele Farotimi. They're dealing with the Nigerian people. And if they like, they can open cases in every single magistrate court, in every single high court, in every court across the land. What we need to do as a united front is to ensure that the resources, the material resources, the lawyers, the funding that is necessary to ensure that Dele can mount a robust defense is made available. He will not stand alone. He is not standing alone. And the only way we can ensure that it is clear to everybody that they're not dealing with just Dele, but that they're dealing with a massive cross-section of Nigerians that are really annoyed at this abuse of the system that's taking place, is to ensure that we have a robust legal defense fund. We will announce how participation in that legal defense fund will take place. It will be donations. We will not make those announcements here. One of the things that will happen in this call is we will provide you with links. One of those links would be a sign-up link where you would provide us with your email addresses, your phone numbers, and we'll be able to engage with you and let you know how that legal defense fund is going to be supported. And then the other thing is we'll also provide you with a link to a WhatsApp community that all of us can then join, and information can be provided there. We are very well aware of the fact that there are people participating on this call that are just here to listen to what's going on and go back and report to the powers that be that these are the things that are being planned in support of Dele Farotimi. The second thing that we're trying to do with this coalition is to ensure that there's a coordination of all of the global efforts that are taking place. It doesn't matter where you are, wherever Nigerians are present around the world, there's a broad cross-section of Nigerians that are supportive of Dele and want to participate actively in ensuring that the travesty that is being carried out right now, the injustice that's been meted out to Dele, is met head on. But how do we make sure that our voices are not just echoes in the wilderness or in the darkness? So the effort here is to make sure we're coordinated. So part of, again, what we're going to do is we'll take everybody's details, those who wish to share those details, and we strongly encourage you to share them. These will be very secure platforms, so don't be afraid that your data is going anywhere. It is to enable us to coordinate, and we're going to ensure that every single voice of Nigerians around the world, Nigerians at home, Nigerians in diaspora, Nigerians situated in the country, every single voice that needs and wants to be raised in support of Dele Farotimi, that those voices will be heard and that those voices will be coordinated. And then the third thing we're going to do is we're opening a whistleblowers initiative. And this is why that's important. This case needs to be taken to a logical conclusion. We're going to fight this case to the end. Dele has already made it clear that he is not asking anybody to plead on his behalf. we're going to take this case to the logical conclusion. But this is what the people that Dele is facing, this is the reality. If this case was anywhere else in the world but Nigeria, Dele would have the right to subpoena the people he named. He would have the right to depose the Supreme Court justices, the judges that he has accused of corruption. He would have the right to depose the police. He would have the right to depose Chief Afe Babalola himself. He would have the right to request for confidential information that they have so that he can exonerate himself. But we all know that is not going to happen. We know that he can depose anybody he wants to, but they won't come to court. And if they don't come to court, then what? We know that he cannot ask for those confidential records.
Hey, Amazon business owners and soon to be Amazon business owners. It's Tim with Algo Online Retail.
We know that judgments were reversed and were rewritten, and people did it. And it is the right of the accused to actually ask for those people to come to court. But what if they don't come to court? Well, we have a plan. And so part of the effort we want to have here is that we're going to have a whistleblowers initiative. There is no corruption that takes place in Nigeria that is not recorded or witnessed by someone. So if judgments were rewritten, clerks did the rewriting. If money is exchanged hands, there were bank accounts that those monies went to. There were people who took those monies wherever those monies were taken to. And in this era of BVN, there's practically not much that is hidden. So what we want to do is to make sure that we encourage and incentivize insiders who are aware of this corruption to come out and provide that information. Dele needs to be able to mount a robust defense. And if that means that we have to encourage whistleblowers to come out and provide that evidence, then so will it be. So these are the three things that this effort is, again, going to be focused on: the Legal Defense Fund, the coordination of the global support, and the whistleblowers initiative. And what I'll do now is there will be a survey to be filled, and we will drop that link in the chat. So you don't need to memorize anything. We'll actually drop it in the chat so that folks can fill that survey. There's a WhatsApp community to join. We'll make that available as well. And those are the announcements that we have for now. And if he is available, and Rachel, please confirm if Tokwe is available. I would like to invite Tokwe, who is one of the lawyers that is providing support for Dele Farotimi. I'll be inviting Tokwe Temuko. If Tokwe is available, Rachel, can you please bring Tokwe to the floor?
He's not available at this time. I'll let you know as soon as he is. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Is Showore on the call yet?
Yes, I believe so, but he kept dropping out. I'll just recheck that.
Okay. So please confirm if Showore has finally been able to connect.
Yeah, so I'm just asking him to unmute. Okay.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes. So, Showore, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for coming. This is quite an impressive number of Nigerians who are here today to remind the authorities in Nigeria that, and also Dele, that he's not alone. We were expecting Tokwe Temoko, who was the last lawyer of his, to see him in detention, to come in here today and discuss some of the personal conversations they had regarding this case. But since he's not here, I will just go straight to the points and where we are with regards to this case. You are all aware that it's not just the judiciary and Chief Afe Babalola and the aides that did this. It was actually a collusion between these three very powerful organizations or institutions and individuals. This Chief Afe Babalola and a bunch of lawyers in his law firm, the Nigeria Police Inspector General, and that's Kayode Egbetokun, was the one who mobilized policemen from Ekiti, from the former SARS unit known as RRS now in most formations across Nigeria, to go after Dele. And they were in Lagos for almost a week, sharing intelligence of his location. And Dele was aware of this and actually did a press conference. Then they abducted him, rough handled his staff, stole some of their phones, and then drove him for about 8 hours from Lagos to Ado-Ekiti. We tracked him down there, and then the next day they took him to a magistrate court, who Tokwe was the first lawyer, that's Temokun, to appear before that magistrate. And typically, for those of you who are carpenters like myself, not lawyers, when you appear before a magistrate, is a court that has summary jurisdiction on a number of issues. One is that since it's a bailable offense, that the magistrate should have granted a bail right there after an oral application was made. Not because it is Dele, but it's because Dele is also a lawyer who, if he was kissing up to the Nigerian system, would have become a senior advocate of Nigeria by now. Dele has been practicing law for 25 years in Nigeria, but he abandoned the system a few years ago, of course, partly because of the reasons that he wrote his book. So the magistrate had been set up, the police prosecution, they all said, no, you can't apply orally for bail. Go and put in your bail application. The bail application was put in, and I think it was supposed to be heard on December 10th. Then we decided that there would be a global protest against this. But because they were aware that this could snowball out of control, they took him to court on December 9th to a federal high court, charged with new sets of offenses. This time, they charged him with cybercrime offenses, which also being a crime that could lead to a jail time of more than 3 years, wasn't bailable. But interestingly, the federal high court, upon realizing that there may be problem because of the action that were declared, granted daily bail, even though the bail conditions were outrageous, as you all are aware now. That's going to provide a 50 million surety bond, also to provide somebody with a landed property in Ado-Ekiti, and he's supposed to deposit his passport. But yet, it wasn't a problem. So the next day, before of course, this could happen, there had been a meeting between Peter Obi and Afe Babalola, and that's completely made us, in our movement, which is Take It Back movement, to decide that since there was a meeting and this appeared to be something they were trying to resolve amongst themselves, we did step down action that ought to have taken place, because that was the expectation of the whole country, that since there has been a meeting, what could we decide, consider a reproach or like some kind of reconciliation, since they know themselves. There was no point engaging in protest. So I'm explaining that as to the reason why this protest was stepped down. But we still, regardless, sent a delegation of our members to court, and a lot of lawyers appeared, including media. When they arrived court, Chief Afe Babalola mobilized thugs down to the court, coordinated by plainclothes policemen, and surrounded the court, threatened and even harassed some of our people, including lawyers that came to represent Dele in Ado. That was what transpired on December 10th. But the magistrate then, upon opposition by the police prosecutor, decided that they will not grant bail on that day because he wants to now rule on the bail. So he adjourned till 20th of December. That's this Friday. So now our suspicion is that if there's no pressure, if there's no fresh pressure, and not just pressure, that if we are not clear to these people that Nigerians are going to revolt over this matter, they will not still grant Dele bail on Friday. And that means Dele will not be able to be with his family for Christmas. And that means that these guys would have gotten away with the injustices that they were perpetrating in this case, which I know very well how they operate, is to ensure that the punishment that doesn't even exist, because according to those who have done the research, there is no crime known as criminal libel in Ekiti law books, I mean Ekiti state law books, but yet they're carrying out that illegality. You will find out that either the magistrate will not appear in court, or if he appears, he will deny him bail and continue to perpetually hold Dele in detention, which I describe as ransom. And we must, as a matter of urgency, figure out how to resist this and ensure that these people don't get away with this crime. This is my own submission as regards what has happened so far. A lot of people have been visiting Dele. We send somebody to see him in detention every other day. He's fine, he's in high spirit. His wife was there yesterday to see him. I spoke to her, briefly, and they're doing, he says Dele is doing well in there, but that's not the issue. Where we are now is that all of us have become Dele Farotimi. And as I have stated recently, the Nigerian judiciary has become our new NSAS in what they are doing in the judiciary. And Nigerians must let them know, just like we did to the Nigerian police during NSAS, that we are not going to give up until justice is done. And I want to also advise that this should not end here, because it's possible that Dele, out of fear, they might release Dele on Friday. I'm not saying they will do it, but it's possible. And we should not allow what happens to Nigerians and the short memories we have about egregious crimes committed against our humanity to take over again. We must pursue what we are doing. That's why Dr. Malcolm decided that we should call everybody here on this coalition to ensure that we continue to pursue justice, not just for Dele, but to ensure that justice is delivered to the Nigerian justice system appropriately and in the measure that would break the back of corruption and all the shenanigans that is going on out there in the justice system. So that's my submission, Malcolm. Thank you very much, everyone, once again, for coming.
Thank you very much, Omoyele Sowore, for providing us with the backstory to where we are today, and also providing us with a sense for exactly where Dele spirits are. You know, I'm sure most people believed that Dele would be in high spirits, but just getting the confirmation from you that you spoke with his wife, and she also confirmed that he continues to be in very high spirits is encouraging. Without wasting further time, I want to bring up to speak Dr. Chidi Nwayawu. Dr. Chidi is one of the leaders of the Take It Back movement. They've been very much involved in the struggle so far. So, and I want him to provide a sense for some of the efforts that are taking place in the diaspora. So what have people done so far? And, understanding what has been done so far, I think will also provide us with a good sense for what else can be done. So Dr. Chidi, please, if you are on, kindly, Rachel, if you can kindly put him off mute so that he can join us and provide us with an update.
Walmart will be closing in 10 minutes.
That guy knows how to last minute shop.
Oh yeah, Larry? He's an artist.
I've given him permissions to mute, just waiting to hear from him now.
Maybe. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you so much, Malcolm. Thank you, everybody, for this opportunity. I've long waited for this, and I'm just the most. I'm the happiest person. I know there would have been more people on this call, but for what the government has done in Nigeria, where they're using this fear tactics to prevent people from, speaking up. And so a lot of people find it difficult to sign in. If anything has to do with them putting down their names, they are so scared because the government has been pushing this propaganda that they are monitoring you. They are doing that. By the way, let me pause and thank every member of the DSS that is present in our midst, every member of the police, army, whatever you are. We know you're here. We recognize you. And just so you know, like I normally say, touch your neighbor and say, hey, neighbor, how did they know that I'm here? Yes, we know. And but let me go straight to what I want to talk about today. You see, we are tired, though. We are tired of being in a country. Do you understand where they've put us to? That you are in Nigeria, you are a citizen of the country called Nigeria, and you are a slave in your country. It has gotten so bad that the people that think they own the country, like Omoyele Sowore just said right now, the members of Afe Babalola and some of the lawyers and the police and all this, like they will sit down, they will hold a meeting and decide who they want to be, who they want the person to be. And they actually, you see, Delefaro to me knew about this. But even though he knew about it, it wasn't going to stop them. They are so emboldened now that they can actually go ahead and carry out their plan and send whoever they want to go and pick up whoever they want and put the person wherever they want, and nothing can be done about it. You see, for me, for a lot of people in my shoe, for the regular carpenter, truck pusher, regular people like me, it's not about Dele Farotimi. It's about getting back a country that has been taken from me. That I am in I can't even talk. When I want to talk, I have to look left, right, where? And that it is no longer possible for me to tell somebody that, hey, if you try any nonsense, we shall see in court. Why? Because the court has already been bought over. The court used to be like the last hope of the common man. Now the judiciary is absolutely nonsense. Look at where we are. Look at the people that are leading us. Look at the leadership of the country. Look at the president. How did they get there? Because the judiciary literally disappointed. The judiciary sabotaged us in Nigeria, and that's where we find ourselves. We cannot contribute anything concerning our finances. We cannot contribute anything. We cannot contribute we don't have a say about our hospitals. People are dying. We don't have a say about our security. We don't have a say about nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you want to tell me it's a country? And then when somebody gets up to speak on our behalf, they silence that person and they ask us, do your worst. My question is, are we going to respond to this challenge? Because they threw a challenge at our feet. They say, do your worst. If you know that the country belongs to you, if you know that you have power, if you know that you can do it, we have done our own. And it's not just that we've done our own, we have plans to do more. So you cannot tell me that we're just going to fold our hands and not do anything. That is why I'm so happy for what is going on. Because you see, now we own the country. It belongs to us. I live in Canada here, but I feel like a stranger here. Nigeria belongs, that we own her. The people that think they own it, no, they are the people in government. We put them there. They are our servants. They are supposed to be serving us, but we are slaves in our country. I don't know about you. If this needed to deliver to me and so many other people, a few days ago, a nurse was taken from a location and moved to Abuja. And the next thing I'm hearing about this cyber crime, just like you have EFCC, there's a new one now. that they can detain you in the cyber crimes, whatever. Do you understand? Today is Pharaoh Timi, tomorrow you don't know who. And if they do one, all the people that have been speaking on our behalf, they've been touching them one after the other. We didn't do anything. So they upgraded. They do another person. They watch. We don't do anything. Now they did this man now, and we don't do something. I don't know how to speak English, so I don't know the logistics. I don't know the legal things. But what I know is that enough is enough. Here in Canada, I know I can't be protesting in Nigeria, but at least I know where I can take my concerns to. And that's why we went to Amnesty International. And now we've reported them, we submitted a paper there. You know, one thing that they've done in Nigeria is they've decided to be taking people for granted. In Igbo, they have a proverb. No one able one kita adekwe anu isinsi. You see, that death that is going to kill a dog, it makes it not to even perceive, naturally in our local environment. When dog can no longer smell shit, say that dog don't go now. So I think what's happening to Nigeria, and especially the judiciary, is that they're no longer reasoning. That death that is coming to catch them now is making them not to think, not to see. The same way it caught them during NSAS, I think it's about to happen again. They are thinking that we don't have any power. They are thinking we cannot do anything, but we have started. So thank you so much for the guys who started all this. I am committed to giving my all, to mobilizing anywhere I am. Thanks to the guys in Nigeria who are mobilizing, who will be protesting. We are all going to do this and we'll succeed. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Dr. Chidi, for those extremely rousing words. So Tokwe Temokun is with us. Tokwe is one of the lawyers that is on the Dele Farotimi defense team. So without wasting any further time, Rachel, can you please bring Tokwe to the floor so that he can give us an update on what is going on with Dele, tell us his current state of mind, and Tokwe, if you can also share with us what the next steps are. I know there's a court case on Friday. If you can just provide us with an update of where things are. Thank you.
This holiday, give yourself more convenience with the Kia Sorento. Give yourself more room for passengers and enjoy a little holiday magic. Get a $750 holiday bonus this season. Kia, movement that inspires.
Good evening, who are doing this part. Yes, people not be contributing matters.
Sorry, Tokwe, can you hear me? Okay, we can't hear you clearly. So maybe, can you turn off your camera? And maybe it's a bandwidth issue. So turn off your camera and let's see whether we can hear your voice more clearly.
Although I think he also joined with another device.
Okay.
So I will also, if that other device.
So you want to unmute the other device for Tokwe?
It doesn't have audio.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay.
Are you hearing me?
So go on. It's not very clear, but if you can just please take it slowly so that hopefully we'll be able to hear you. Okay. Sorry, Tokwe, we can't hear you. So Tokwe, can you, if you turn off your camera, try speaking again. If you turn off the camera on this device you're on, and then just speak again. Let's see if that would be better. So Tokwe, do you want to try again?
I think he's dropped off and may try to dial back in.
Okay. All right. So while we're waiting for Tokwe, I know that a lot more people have joined us. So what I'll just do while we're waiting for Tokwe to rejoin is I'll just very quickly again go over the reason why we're here and some of the things that we're trying to do. So again, all of us are here for one reason. We're here because we do not support injustice. We're here because we support Dele Farotimi's righteous fight against injustice and against corruption in the Nigerian judicial system. And one of the things we wanted to make sure did not happen in this case was that our anger as Nigerians and our displeasure with the system would not just fritter away in our individual corners and circles, that we needed to find a way and a platform to ensure a coalition, a true coalition, to ensure that all of us can actually bring all those different voices together and work together to make sure that the plans that the system has for Dele does not come to bear. And there are three things we want to do with this coalition. The first one is to make sure that Dele can defend himself. So already there are cases in 5 different courts. It means there are going to be different sets of lawyers, sometimes depending on the timing and the scheduling of cases. And again, one of the things the system does is it would not be surprising to us if over the next few weeks, there are more cases in more courts. So how does Dele defend himself? Because any court he doesn't appear in, any court where there are no lawyers, is going to be a court where he loses the case. And at the end of the day, these lawyers, yes, there are many of them, like Tokwe and others, that are doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. But if this is going to be a sustained fight, then we must fight beyond just the goodness of our hearts. And so part of what we're trying to do is to make sure we raise a legal defense fund for Dele, a fund that will ensure that it doesn't matter where the cases are set up, it doesn't matter how many cases there are, it doesn't matter what the complexity of those cases are, that we provide the means and the resources to fight those cases to a conclusion. What they are hoping for was that it would only be Dele alone and a few people who support him, who are lawyers, that will be fighting this cause. They've made a big mistake. Nigerians are going to support this cause to the end. We will resource it, we will fund it. There are already lawyers that are providing their services pro bono. But whatever we need to make sure that this case gets fought, we will do. So the first thing is a legal defense fund. The second one is just a coordination of global support. So Dr. Chidi came on earlier. The TIB movement has already made some overtures. They've reached out. They started pressurizing governments and institutions and organizations in North America. Some similar efforts are taking place here in the US. Other efforts are taking place in the UK. And there's obviously a lot of efforts that are taking place on the ground in Nigeria. So what we want to do is to make sure that we are coordinating across the world and that all of the work that we're doing is in alignment so that we can take all of these different energies and channel it towards one thing. And if there are complementary things we can do, then we'll do them. But having a single voice, a single platform that is able to bring everybody together, we think is going to be absolutely important. The third one is a whistleblowers initiative. And one of the points that I made earlier was if this case was anywhere else but in Nigeria, Dele would have the rights to subpoena and depose all of the people that he has accused. He will be able to bring Supreme Court justices and put them on the hot seat and have them answer tough questions. He will be able to subpoena bank records. He will be able to subpoena, the administrative goings-ons in the courts, because one of the very clear things he has, one of the allegations, the things he made very clear in the book, was that there were certain judgments that were rewritten. But we know that even if Dele was to subpoena all these people, they would simply refuse to turn up. How would he defend himself? But one of the things we know is that corruption doesn't happen in a vacuum. There's a clerk that took the corrupt proceeds somewhere. There is a court registrar that understands what administrative mishandlings were done. There's a bank teller that knows what money transfers were made. And so what we want to do with the Whistleblowers Initiative is to make sure that every single person that is an insider to this corruption can come out and securely provide the information that is needed by Dele to exonerate himself. But beyond that, the information that is needed by Nigerians to actually begin to see the enormity and the depravity of the corruption that exists in our country. So what this Whistleblowers Initiative will do is two things. One, will create a very secure platform, a digital platform where such information can be provided. And then secondly, we will incentivize these whistleblowers. We will reward the whistleblowers who bring information that is germane to the case and germane to the defense. So those are the three critical things. And now that Tokwe is back in, I'll stop and we'll bring Tokwe back. And hopefully this time we will be able to hear him clearly. So Tokwe, please, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you.
Gabapentin is bringing you closer to amputation. These are 3 symptoms that are signaling that you.
So now.
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
Am I clear now? Right. Hello, sorry, is it?
Go on. You're clearer now. You're much clearer than before.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I don't know whether I'm far from the I appreciate the efforts of communities based on this initiative, and I think the point I picked from the last submission made on the issue of isolation. It's very easy to isolate an activist just for the purpose of destroying him, and make him feel as if destroying is a destructive one. But now that we have come up with a team, to ensure that just to comrade me, standing good society, and justice because if you look at the strategy of after the arraignment, after the was on the declaration that protest at various points across Nigeria for the purpose of getting bail for Comrade Farotimi. But after the visit of Mr. Peter Obi and the information that got into town that they have started begging, there was a very radical turn of tide against us, against the movement. It was like a graveyard silence on our part. Why these people mobilized, they retooled their forces and they took over the space, taking over the space by filing cases here and there. Their allies, they begin to say why they didn't power to me. Where we begin, all of us have been demoralized. And God let me particularly from me to know his state of mind, to know whether he has given his mandate. Those people that have read maybe if have his mandate, they have business in his wrong way. If they have the mandate, that means to be completed him. he made himself very clear on what we are doing, on what is expected. Our position or presentation.
Sir, please, could I ask the barrister if you can hear me? Please turn off your camera. Please turn off your camera so we can have audio only.
Okay.
Let's try that, please, and we'll see if it will be clearer. Thank you so much.
I'm trying to talk to people. Oh God, it's going on.
That's great. That's great. The video is off. Please continue.
So can I? Are you hearing me now?
Very clearly. Thank you.
Are you okay? So they took over the space, but after the visit, and we got that mandate from him that is clearly against any form of apology. He's clearly poised at coming out to defend himself. And that is why this new trend of discussions and interrogations are taking place. And the only plea I will make is that having started on this part again, having begin to reinterrogate this process, is for us not to give a gap. I have seen the clearly earmarked programs for this movement. The whistleblower aspect is very, 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 very important. That area is very, 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 very important. I have discussed with some people and I've made this clear categorically. Has made these allegations, and people have said it's very difficult to prove. There are some basic things that are possible if only we have a discreet way of bringing people on board. What is lacking is courage. There are 90% of people that have information that even Mr. Deleva did not even have while making those allegations that will be of help to this struggle. So when we now begin this process of whistleblower, you will see that a lot of things will come up, which is initiative I also appreciate. And in the course of mobilizing against the court, I will also still say that to leave a gap in this process is what is actually giving opportunity for the opponents to have a room to fight back. If we don't give a gap, having started this process, if we do not leave a gap, every single day, one program, no matter what, if it is just a release, if it is just media interaction, if it is just interview, if it is just discussion, once we don't give a gap, and whatever we do, we take it out there to discuss it, with the world before the court appearance. I am sure there will not be room for them to be able to even reactivate their energy and carry on with this kind of attack. And if by the grace of struggle, Dr. Comrade Farotimi is out of prison, I am sure we'll have a lighter work to do, because he's not out now. And processes, of course, they are being served on him in prison. When he comes out, hopefully, whatever assistance, whatever information assistance he has, whatever intelligence gathering he has, and if it is just 10% of what people thought he knew that's able to bring out, I am very sure it's going to help us a lot, and that the coordination should continue. If the program of event continue, I think mobilization to court is also very, very important. With all this strategy, I am sure that we have the day. Thank you so much.
Experience is everything at Birchwood. And with 22 vehicle brands represented across
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Barrister Tokwe, and I want to thank you and the legal team for all the work that you guys are doing. And what we can assure you of is that what we've started today, we're not going to relent. A lot of people are taking their time and their efforts. Again, we want to thank everybody from the diaspora, and especially folks that are in Nigeria, that are, by participating in this call, making it clear that we're putting our mouths and our bodies and our actions into this fight. So this is a fight for the long run. This is a fight for justice. This is a fight that is going to be fought in the courts. It's going to be fought in the press. It's going to be fought on the ground. But whatever it takes, those of us that are on this call made it clear that we were in this for the long haul. So here's what we would please ask everybody to do before this call ends. We need you to fill out this survey. What the survey does is it allows us to have your details, your email addresses, your phone number, so we can contact you. We can let you know what's happening. You may happen to be in Ekiti. There might be a court case in Port Harcourt. This will allow us to reach you, to provide you with information. It will allow us to actually gather together and group people according to where they're based and help us with the coordinating effort. So that's why we need those details. When you open it up, it will also ask you what ways, the different ways in which you want to support this cause. Is it with donations? Is it in kind? Is it with helping to build awareness? Is it with helping to drive advocacy on social media? So please, it is absolutely crucial that you please kindly sign into that survey. And then the other one is we need you to join there's a WhatsApp community that has been formed. Please join. Again, it would help us with coordination. That is where we would be. And I've just put in the chat. So please, everybody on the call right now, kindly go into the chat, kindly fill in the survey, kindly join the WhatsApp community, and the additional instructions about what will happen and when they will happen will be communicated there. And so please, I leave you with this call to kindly fill the survey and please join the WhatsApp community. Thank you all for participating in today's conversation. There will be many more conversations. This will, we actually already have at least one that is planned potentially for either Friday, which is the day of the court case in Ekiti, or on Sunday. So we will be communicating, but all further communications will be coming through the WhatsApp groups, and then please fill the survey so that we can reach out to you as well. Thank you very much, and that is the end of our conversations for today.
Well, that's actually a great one. I'm glad that I brought it here so we can both listen to it. So for those of you just joining, please watch the replay. It would give you an insight as to what the video is about. Let's continue to talk about Dele Farutimi. Let's continue to demand for his freedom. Use your social media platforms, please. I beg you. Use your social media platforms. Don't, even if you only have 2 people, do what you need to do to, to let those 2 people know what's going on. Is Dele Farutimi today? We don't know who is going to be tomorrow. And as a collective, I think we have been too silent. Hopefully, I'm hoping that more action as the days go by. Because really and honestly, I kind of find I'm very uncomfortable with the fact that this man is just locked up. His rights have been stripped from him. You're not even sue the man to court. Let him have his day in court. No, you want to lock him behind doors. You want to silence him so that you can continue to spin your narrative. It doesn't work like that. I don't know, but hey, the fight for better Nigeria continues. We cannot give up. If you're tired, take a break, come back. Hey, Nigeria is for all of us. If Kasala boss, Nigeria will run, go back to. So I don't know. It's not just for that, but for the young people coming up, so that they will have a sane society to live in. So that's it for me for now. Thank you for joining. If you're just joining, please watch the video from the beginning so that you can get caught up. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye. Oh, by the way, Kene, I see your hand, though. Thank you very much. In case you're hearing me, Kene, I see your hand. I really appreciate it. Thank you. God bless you, my brother. Thank you so much. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.